Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. I'm Ross Benjamin. As always, I'm joined by my cohort, Mr. Chip Chirimbus of chipwins.com. Folks, we're going to have not only the side, but the total free picks on the Philadelphia and Tampa Bay game being played on Sunday, so stay tuned for that. But in the interim, let's say hello to my buddy. How are you, Chip?
I'm doing just wonderful. Had a great day on a great weekend in the NFL. And of course, hit our college game of the year, Georgia, surely the dominant team over Alabama. So our big game plays are still coming through, Ross. Really happy about that. And coming off what we did last year in the playoffs, having a tremendous 18-6 overall record, 9-2 in the totals. This is all documented. Of course, we did this right here on the air last year, right? So, I'm really looking forward to it once again. And we've got 3 big games this Saturday in the NFL.
Yeah, if you joined us last week on this NFL podcast, we gave you 2 free winners. Yep. Chipper gave you the Buffalo Bills minus 16.5. They won by 17 against the Jets, even though, folks, that game was not even as close as that 17-point margin would indicate, with Buffalo outgaining them 424-53. Somehow the Jets stayed in that game. And secondly, we had the Miami Dolphins plus the points against the New England Patriots, who needed that game, I guess, to keep their AFC East hopes alive. They dropped by that loss, Chip. They dropped from the number 4 to number 5 seed. And a lot of interesting games coming up this weekend, some that really head-scratching lines, and we'll go over that. But, we saw a lot of head coaching changes, Chip, over the last what do they call it? Black Monday and beyond. So one of the things that stuck out when you brought to my attention Monday morning that Brian Flores from the Miami Dolphins got fired. And it's like, wow, that one took me off guard.
Me as well. And down here in South Florida, what I'm picking up is that it was really he was very, very harsh on the sideline and harsh toward Tua. And I guess he hurt Tua's feelings. And that, of course, hurt the owner's feelings. And they said, no, honestly, goodness, this is what I'm hearing, is that he was very hard on Tua and called him a lot of names and things along those lines. And in today's day and age, I guess that doesn't go well, particularly when the owner, this quarterback is your owner's project. We know Ross made big moves in order to get Tua down here in Miami. And I think that the whole NFL, hierarchy is pretty in shock about what's going on here. And of course, Bellatar Levitar down here is making it a racial issue because even though his name's Flores, he's black, but I don't think it had anything to do with that. It had to do with his behavior and interaction with the other players. Some players but he got results. And in the NFL, who likes Vince Lombardi unless you won? It's just I was in shock that he went.
See, so now my perspective is, from what I read anyway, and you're local down there in Miami, so you're getting a lot more information than the average bear that gets on these podcasts when it comes to the Dolphins anyway. And what I absorbed and read over the last few days is Flores had troubles with the hierarchy, meaning the general manager, president of operations, owner, etc. And I go back to the pick on Tua when they drafted him number 1 overall. Flores wanted to bring in Justin Herbert, right? And the owner insisted upon grabbing Tua. Not only insisted, he actually forced the GM to make a trade to move up in the draft to get him. Right. Now, we've had the discussion, Chip. Tua's a nice quarterback. Okay, he's going to get better, but he's not going to be your franchise type of guy. He's not going to lead you to the promised land. Like you said and alluded to, Tua, first of all, you drafted damaged goods. The guy was coming off a dislocated hip, which ends a lot of football careers. And you know what? For a macho sport like football, a lot of whining going on lately, hurting the feelings and stuff. These are guys who go on the field and rip their heads off and they're worried about a coach calling them a name. Come on, man. Unless it was a racial epithet or something like that.
They're leading with the helmet and then suing the NFL for brain damage. So, I mean, I don't get it. You're sitting there, you are causing your own issues.
Yeah,
So,
I was, and you can't laugh at somebody getting hurt, but this whole episode with Antonio Brown a couple weeks ago, they kept showing that highlight, if you want to call it that,
right.
when they played Cincinnati in the playoffs, and Vontae Burfict, who's known as one of the dirtiest players in the league and is no longer in the league, as a matter of
One
fact.
of the worst I ever seen.
And that vicious hit he put on Antonio Brown, and wondering, is this guy suffering from the brain issues?
He was suffering before he ever walked onto the football field. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, his
Yeah.
issues go way back before that. He's had problems every single place he is. It's like, how we say some people resent authority. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I think his ego is so big that there is no authority.
And he's not rational. You could tell the guy has some issues. And hey, look it, man, I'm not cutting down anybody with mental health issues. Just because you have mental health issues doesn't mean you're crazy. You just need to get the proper medications, a chemical imbalance, and unfortunately, with a guy with a large ego like that, he probably thinks he's well beyond that. There's no way he would succumb to admitting A, he's suffering from depression, or B, being medicated for such.
I'm sure he's never been in the wrong, even when he was throwing furniture off the balcony from the 17th floor.
Well, remember when Bruce Arians, when they initially asked him about Antonio Brown, he blatantly came right out and told the press, I don't want no part of him. I had him in Pittsburgh. We don't need the headache. But Tom Brady went to bat for him, and who's the first guy he attacked this week? Tom Brady.
And Brady has had a way of waving his magic wand over disgruntled and difficult players from the past that have come, and they've actually changed. They've adjusted their personalities, I think, in respect to Brady, I would imagine. But it seems like it happens. They had Blunt. He's had all kinds of players that had difficulties in other places, even Randy Moss, and came and excelled with him. So it's like they know this might be their last stop. And this is a big chance to win, and maybe they adhere and toe the line. But Brown certainly had some issues.
So getting back to the Dolphins, I think they requested an interview with Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator Brian Daboll. And if their problem with Brian Flores was not respecting the chain of command, I don't think that they're going to have that issue with Daboll if they indeed hire him, because I say that because I know the way the Buffalo organization is run right now, Chip. Daboll is seeing Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane and the owner, Terry Pagula, and how they work hand in hand and turn this franchise around in the last 5 years to a really winning culture and friendly culture within the locker room. So I think he would be a good choice if indeed that was the problem with Flores.
Although they've said down here, and Ross has come out and said that he's a Michigan man and he's not going to take a Michigan man away from Michigan. The word is he's just laying low and biding his time, and eventually he's going to end up with Harbaugh. And I guess Harbaugh is kind of upset about the contract he had to sign with a pay cut with Michigan, and now, of course, guy at Michigan State, what was his name, Tucker? He got $90 million. So, Harbaugh may want to go back to the pros.
Yeah, I think if I had the choice again, and I'm not being biased when I say this, Brian Daboll deserves a shot at a head coaching job. The guy's a brilliant offensive mind. He's good with the players. He's good with the press, and he can handle it. But anyway, we'll see what develops. But we always have this coaching carousel the first Monday after the last regular season game. And interesting, it's not done yet. There's a lot of interviews being conducted. Who's going to the Bears?
Judge got his reprieve until Tuesday evening.
That's what I was going to say. There was an exception to the rule there. And I'm glad the Giants moved on from that, because he's another one that apparently he was another John Gruden type that was very belligerent to his own players and the staff. And, I understand when you're losing, but go ahead.
He didn't do himself any favors with his last press conference either, when he was, he threw former coaches under the bus. Everybody was at fault except for him and what he was doing, the job he was doing. And yet, my goodness, they lost the last 6 games by double digits, didn't show any improvement whatsoever. I mean, they fired their offensive coordinator and got even worse. So
Yes,
the
yes.
team was really big problems. You know, I stay close to the Giants, and I mean, they're really pathetic. I mean, absolutely pathetic. I mean, to call a quarterback sneak on a 3rd and 9 from your own 3-yard line, you got to have, you know, that's Pop Warner stuff.
Yeah, yeah. That was just a cavalcade of booze that came down.
That's
And
embarrassing.
rightfully so. Yeah, and yeah, I think they made a good move there. I think they need to move on. I know it was only 2 years, but it was regressing. It wasn't getting better. You didn't. That's the difference. Brian Flores, folks, in his first year, which was 2019, 2020, his team, meaning Miami, got off to an 0-7 start. In their first 4 games, they failed to cover, and they got clobbered by an enormous margin. People were talking about this being the worst team in Miami in NFL history, not Miami history, but NFL history. And they rebounded to go 5-4 down the stretch. And then last year they started 1-3. They ended 10-6. If not for a regular season finale loss against Buffalo, they would have been in. And this year, 9-8, you know, 2 winning years in a row. And again, this year, reminding you guys, they started 1-7 and ended up 9-8. My point being is, like me and Chip were discussing last week, the Dolphins didn't quit on this guy. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chip. Isn't that a guy that you want as your head coach?
Yeah, you know, and I was thinking possibly extending, let Judge finish, go 1 more year, give the quarterback another 1 more year in his contract and a shot, and give Saquon Barkley 1 more year, because those are 3 guys that they're all looking to jettison and get rid of, but they all have tied into their contracts. They're not going to win the Super Bowl next year. I could see making a general manager change. I was surprised they actually went after the coach as well, but this Gettleman, he gutted the club. Overall horrendous picks. They got 5 and 7 coming up in the draft this year, but they're gone. No one around here was surprised they're gone. I think he hung himself with that 11-minute dissertation when he had a press conference at the.
Yeah, well, then the other thing that didn't help him either is when he called the Washington football team organization a clown show. Now, I get why he said that, but you don't come out publicly and say that and insult the head coach with who people deeply respect in Ron Rivera for many reasons, not only on the football field, but off the football field. So again, like you said, he shot himself in the foot, Chip, and he got what was coming to him. Maybe that's what he wanted. I don't know, but he certainly didn't help himself. Anyway, let's get to our free picks. All right. So Philadelphia at Tampa Bay on Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern time kickoff. Right now, the Eagles the Tampa Bay Bucks are -8.5. Yeah, I would like to see the Eagles -8.5. And the total in that game is 46.5. I'm going to have the side, but Chipper, you got the total. Take it away.
Yes. Everyone out there going to be able to parlay it like last week. You know, that Buffalo game, we win by 17, but certainly didn't go the way I anticipated it was going to go. I really thought they were going to rout them completely. Now, this game, total opens 49, goes down to 47. You've got Tom Brady with the most passing yards, the most completions, the most attempts of his career in the NFL as well. But, you know, this Philadelphia team, they play defense and they play it tough, and they look to control the ball on offense. They're only allowing 329 yards a game and a little over 220 yards passing. And, of course, we know that Tampa's going to hang their hat on their passing game. But there's a couple of factors about the way Philadelphia plays and their style, Ross. They're 4-0 in the last 4 playoff games in the wild card division. They're 6-2 to the under in the last playoff games overall. And Tampa Bay is the same way, I guess. Big games. They come up, they're 5-1 to the under as favorites in the playoffs. 5-1 to the under as favorites in the playoffs, and 7-2 playing on grass. And I don't mean they're, playing on grass, natural surface.
Playing on a grass surface.
I mean, in Las Vegas now, you're not quite sure anymore. I mean, distilleries on the corner. But anyway, I think this game stays under the total. Total open 49. The sharp money hit it down real quick, down to 47, and I think it's even dropped a half point since then. playoff football is usually a little bit more conservative. You're going to probably see Philadelphia trying in some way to stuff up Brady and make him get rid of the ball a lot quicker than he does, which is almost impossible. But I see a short game passing for Tampa Bay and a running game for Philadelphia, and I see the game staying under the total.
So Chip Chirimbus likes Tampa Bay, who's playing on grass, and Philadelphia to go under the total of 46 and a
I
half.
could have said they're on gummies, but they're not. They're on.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to look at the side here. That's okay. You threw me off a little bit. Always good to get a laugh, Chip. Anyway, look, this line is fishy to me. You know, you look at the fact Tampa Bay finished the year by winning 7 of their last 8 and covered 6 of those games. And I didn't check, but I'm almost assuming they were favored in each one of those contests. In any event, Philadelphia, on the other hand, we got a 9-8 team that made the playoffs, a team that all 9 of their wins have come against teams that did not qualify for the postseason. In addition, all 9 of their wins have come against teams that finished the year 500 or worse. So why I'm baffled by the fact that when I look at the Pittsburgh, Kansas City line and see Kansas City as a 12.5 point favorite, and then I look at Tampa Bay, who finished the year red hot against a 9-8 team, defending world champion, and they're only 8.5. To me, my antennas went up. And I really fully expected this line to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 10.5 to 11, honestly. And it's at 8.5. And a lot of people out there would say, well, Ross, then why don't you take Tampa Bay at 8.5? Because when it looks this fishy, right, my friend? I'm talking to you, Chipper. When it looks this fishy, we go the other way. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles plus the 8.5 over Tampa Bay. Chip Chirimbus likes the Tampa Bay Bucks on grass and the Philadelphia Eagles under the total of 46.5. Hopefully we go 2-0 like last week, folks. Chipper, what do you got going on this week and how you been doing of late?
Well, you expect it to go under because you're playing on grass. You should be a little lethargic. But, you know, last year we had here documented 18-6 in the playoffs, considered a big game player. These were big games, 9-2 in totals. So I'm looking for big NFL action this weekend. We hit our last, 3 best bets this weekend and brought our record up to 20-8 on the season with Megabuck plays. We're going to have one Saturday. We're going to have one Sunday. Not quite sure if Monday qualifies as a best bet, Ross, but we're out there right now. Chipwins.com. Log on, follow the buy links, give me a ring, and become a big A-play winner.
Yes, and I was coming off a 7-0 Saturday. Then I hit my NFL game of the year on Sunday with the Las Vegas Raiders. Cashed in with my 10-star top play on Monday night, like Chip. I had the Georgia Bulldogs, thankfully. And my 10-star top plays, which are the equivalent of many people as they term it best bets, 4-0 the last 4. So if you follow me in college basketball, my college basketball 10-star top plays going back to 2018, I'm at 60% with my last 138 college basketball 10-star top plays. NBA 10-star top plays, 6-2 so far this year. So folks, keep an eye on all of that. You could find me at rbwins.com. Daily, weekly, monthly, annual packages. If you don't find something that suits your needs, give me a call. My number's right there on the website, 781-571-0299, 781-571-0299. I employ no salespeople like Chip doesn't. We answer the phone. It's us or me and him only that you're going to talk to. No baloney there, folks. We don't have time to give you this whole song and dance sales pitch. It is what it is. We win. We've been winning over the long haul, and that's what you're going to get from us, True Blue. So again, chipwins.com, rbwins.com. Until the next time. By the way, folks, an NBA show coming up tomorrow. We'll have free picks on Friday NBA. Friday evening, we'll be taping a college basketball show. 2 more winners in college basketball on Saturday. And for Chip Chirimbus and Ross Benjamin, take care. God bless and good luck, folks.